gallons of water comes in a day, and 4.5 million gallons of water goes back out. So here we are at the influent point. This is where the raw water comes in from the collection system. Most people call that a sewer. This channel has two functions. It helps to aerate the influent water, and it depressurizes the influent water because we don't want it going into the next process, which is trash removal under pressure. It is sort of a grayish green in color. It's not brown. It's about 98% water. The rest is solids, including fats, oils, and greases, and anything you might throw down the toilet, like trash. There goes the baby wipe. We're gonna go inside and I'll show you the trash removal. So the raw water comes into this building for trash removal. All the trash that gets flushed down the toilet, all the garbage that comes through the garbage disposal ends up in this channel. And there's a machine here that's called a step screen, and it's designed to catch the trash on bars. It rises and steps up. Once we get to maybe 6 steps, it flips over and deposits the trash in a collector. The collector is designed to obviously accept the trash, but we have to wash it before we throw it away so that it doesn't smell. It's not disinfected, but we don't want it to smell. From there it goes to an auger that wrings out that water, and then the extruder deposits it in a trash trailer with an everlasting garbage bag. And this is a light day. We empty that trailer about twice a week, and it's somewhere between 1.5 tons and 3 tons of garbage. So the next step in the process is to treat the raw water through what we call a biotower, and it serves two functions. It helps to aerate that water, and there is a film of algae that grows in a plastic matrix, and that algae actually eats and consumes the ammonia. The ammonia source is the uric acid in the urine that gets flushed through the system. The biological treatment process is very sensitive to ammonia because the bacteria that actually treats the raw sewage actually excretes ammonia as a waste product. So we want to limit the amount of ammonia in the oxidation ditch in order to achieve good levels of bacteria growth. The next step in the process is the actual wastewater treatment. All the raw water comes into an oxidation ditch. What we have there is a bacteria culture that actually consumes the solids. As a waste product, it excretes ammonia and carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Everything that is introduced into the raw water stream, we bring down here, we pump down here into the oxidation ditch, and that bacteria is what the water treatment process is. It eats all the solids and all the bacteria and viruses that may be present in the raw water, and our charge by the Environmental Protection Agency is to remove all human pathogens that might exist in the raw wastewater stream. The raw water, when it comes in the effluent channel, it was sort of a grayish green color. It's now brown because of the bacteria culture that we've introduced into the raw water. And it's not because there's any solids there. The solids are actually dissolved. You know, the bacteria, they breathe air, so we also bubble a little bit of air there in a diffuser, kind of like an aquarium tank. So they have plenty of oxygen to breathe. But they're actually doing the water treatment process. Okay, so the next step in the wastewater treatment process is to separate the solids from the water, and we do that in a clarifier. Basically, this is just a settling tank where the activated sludge solids kind of float to the bottom, and the clarified water comes off the top. The clarified water is the treated wastewater that we will soon disinfect and return right back to the river. Solids is a pretty good source. It's activated sludge. It still has a biological culture, and we're going to reuse that biological culture, activated sludge, and reintroduce it to its own food source, which is the raw influent stream coming into the plant. On occasion, the activated sludge gets a little old, and we decide not to reuse it, so we separate it into two trains. One is the actual clarified water going to disinfection, and the other side is old activated sludge that we are not going to return back to the plant, and we're going to send over to the methane plant. So the final process for the water after it comes off the clarifiers is to be disinfected shortly before it's returned back to the environment. In our case here in Rexburg, it's back to the Teton River. So this is an ultraviolet light process that disinfects the water. It does not sterilize the water. It's simply a process using ultraviolet light that destroys any human pathogens that may not have been consumed in the treatment process. Our charge from the EPA is to make sure that whatever we put back in the environment is human pathogen free. Okay, so the biosolids that we have that are no longer viable to use in the wastewater treatment process, we send to an anaerobic digester where those biosolids bacteria actually make anaerobically a methane gas that we use as a fuel source in order to disinfect the biosolids. So once that is done, and we've gotten everything we can out of the biosolids themselves, we separate them from water that's in the digester. The water gets sent back to the treatment plant to be disinfected and then returned to the river, and the dewatered sludge that we call cake is then available as a nitrogen fertilizer source to be used in agriculture as a soil amendment. The cake comes down here, and this is a drying room, but we're collecting dried biosolids that effectively are this nitrogen source as a soil amendment or a fertilizer to agriculture. This is a valuable resource that Rexburg is probably one of the few cities in the United States that we reuse or recycle the biosolids. Rexburg's ahead of the curve. We're involved in recycling and reusing product to the benefit of the environment.